Texas 78704. You can also see all my films in super high quality and burn them to disc and download them and give them to folks at prisonplanet.tv, as well as watching the live feed of the radio/TV show. And lastly, I want to thank our longtime sponsor, eFoodsDirect.com. We don't have to remind you that you need food to survive. Our biggest sponsor, eFoods Direct, is the longest continually operating affordable foods company in the country. They also happen to be true patriots and have supported the freedom movement for years and years. With the looming food shortages, depression, war, the economy, it is imperative that you make sure you and your family are prepared with non-GMO, good, clean, storable foods. Give them a call at 1-800-409-5633, 1-800-409-5633, or check them out on the web at efoodsdirect.com. Non-GMO, non-hybrid, good quality, clean food, efoodsdirect.com, and a great price. All right, Watson. Recap what you were saying about the water supply. They're clearly already doing this, but he also gets into a global police state of CPS to take everyone's kids. And then the New York Times today saying families are bad. I randomly pick up the Atlantic Monthly. It's got an article saying families are bad. July, August. I mean, these people scientifically want to make us all wrecks so they can orderly kill our ass. They got to break down society first, then come in with fake terror for their police state cover story so they can run a black op on us, just like Dick Cheney said in Rebuilding America's Defenses about how he wanted to use race-specific bioweapons to kill certain races. But they only tell the whites carrying this out, oh, we're just killing the blacks and Mexicans. No, folks, they want to kill everybody but themselves. Paul Watson.
Right. Well, you established the fact that global sperm counts have been reduced, and that's accelerating, and it's especially prevalent in white European men. That's a fact. Now, what's also a fact is that the University of Exeter, along with the University of Sussex, has done scientific studies earlier this year which produced the results that anti-androgens were being released into the water supply, and this was above and beyond the concerns about HRT and contraceptive pills, which are also affecting the environmental crisis. But these anti-androgens are used to treat sex offenders or given to sex offenders after they're released from prison to suppress their sexual libido. They're given to transsexual men who want to become women, because what they do is they counteract the masculinization process and effectively diminish the normal male biological characteristics. They call them endocrine disruptors.
And that's why a lot of cops, what they say, over a third of cops are on steroids. A lot of them, in a way, actually need them, I guess, because we've all been feminized by this.
Right. And it's also being sprayed on our food. They're used in pesticides. I've linked to another scientific study from the article that's at the top of prisonplanet.com now, which shows that these same anti-androgens have been found to, quote, have demonstrated to induce demasculinization in rats. So hold on a minute. I actually saw a mainstream report on that last week and didn't even think to cover it. What you're saying is key here. They are picking chemical pesticides of a type that sterilize or reduce sperm count. I've seen those reports. That's what I'm saying. There's so much evidence, just like of thousands of different plastic combinations for global standardization in the 50s. They picked a certain type of plastic family that leaches the endocrine disruptors, the estrogen mimickers, which hyper-feminize women connected to breast cancer and a hormonal fluctuation, and feminize men. And then we actually see a lot of males now aren't even at age 12, 13 having their testicles drop. So the girls are going into puberty at 5, 6 years old because of the food and the water, and the boys are becoming feminine because of this and aren't even having their testicles literally like ovaries drop. This is just incredible. You're saying you've got a report up on prisonplanet.com. I guess you just already did your big report. Obama czar's plan to sterilize population through water supply already happening. My God, this is mega huge, Watson. And again, people, we're risking our lives here. That's why I always have such excitement. I know what we're doing. We have caught these. Oh, my God. Okay, you know what? I'm leaving the room. I'm not going to be able to shut up. I'm going to leave the room and watch from the control room.
Watson, you've got the floor. I've got to shut up. Start over. This is huge breaking information. This is huge. Watson, tell them.
Yeah, these anti-androgens have not only been found in the water supply, but according to this study, which is the abstract of which is on encyclopedia.com, and I've linked to it from the article on prisonplanet.com right now. It's actually a study from October 2001, so this has been known for some time now. And you can, looks like you have to buy the actual full scientific study, but it was in the Environmental Health Perspectives from October 1st, 2001. And it says that these same anti-androgens have been found in pesticides, and which are sprayed on our food, and they tested them on rats, and they were, quote, demonstrated to induce demasculinization in rats. So they're having the same effect that they are on the fish in the water, and not only fish. Polar bears, bald eagles, otters, and whales have all been similarly affected by these gender-bending chemicals, and it's a problem not only in the UK, but it's global. Now, the professor at Exeter University, having established that these chemicals are having gender-bending effects on fish and animals, said, quote, there is certainly the potential for it to have an effect in humans and possibly a marked effect. Professor Charles Tyler of Exeter University, who is one of the country's leading authorities on the effects of estrogen. So you tie that with the fact that global sperm count is reducing at an accelerating rate, especially amongst white European males. There's a study that I've linked to from the article which talks about that as well. So these things are going into our water supply at an increasing rate above and beyond the normal pollutants from industry and pharmaceutical products. Now, the ironic thing about all this, as was revealed in a March 2009 BBC Country File documentary program, is that the water authorities in England have these large industrial water filters which, at the source of the sewage plants, can filter out these very chemicals that are causing gender-bending effects and have devastated the fish population in the UK. They have the filters which can remove them, and during one test in Derby, which is not too far away from where I live, they were found to successfully be able to remove these anti-androgens. But that test, although successful, was blocked from being rolled out nationwide, and these large filters were prevented from being installed nationwide because of concerns about, quote, their carbon footprint and that they might contribute to global warming, which is obviously the latest veil behind which Holdren and his eugenicist colleagues camouflaged their eugenicist agenda. So now, because of concerns about global warming and carbon footprint, the very filters that would eliminate these gender-bending chemicals, which are a real environmental threat, not only to the food supply and animals, but also to humans as well, is being blocked because people in control of the fake man-made climate change movement are protesting that they would harm the environment because they release some CO2. So the waters, the lakes, will continue to be poisoned by this gender-bending chemical.
But see, that's a religious statement. Now, the globalists that set this up cold-bloodedly don't believe it. They know carbon dioxide is what plants breathe. But it's like, oh, you can't test the other water supplies that have the drugs in it. That driving a car to the lake would release carbon. You know, see, this is their sick joke. They practice mental illness to make everybody else basically feel crazy and confused. This is so sick, Watson. And again, I have that AP article where they found the drugs in our water supply of an even different type and a higher level than was possible from sewage runoff, and they find it in water supplies that aren't connected to a water supply that's downstream or has any runoff. They're finding it in aquifer water that's taken out and then sent to a treatment plant to have fluoride added. They're adding it there. So they're finding it in major city supplies that come from aquifers. They're putting it in the water. They're doing it. And I'm looking at your article here on PrisonPlanet.com. There are people in there attacking you, saying, how dare us not want to do this, Paul? We've got to get rid of the humans for the earth.
That's the wider issue, Alex, is the fact that, the biggest battle is not convincing people that eugenicists like Holdren in positions of power advocating these positions, nor even that they're actually might be carrying them out, as is documented in this article. The biggest battle